Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Sometimes the coolest little gems are found a little off the beaten path, and that's exactly where you will find Hickory Store Barbecue. They are on Blake Bottom Road, just east of Jeff Road, and it's definitely worth the trip. The smokers are going on site daily, and they have the best smoked wings around. You'll love the fireplace and the covered patio, and best of all, Hickory Store Barbecue is locally owned and operated by the McAlpins. They even have rotating craft beer taps and live music weekly. Hickory Store Barbecue. Go see what you're missing. Blake Bottom Road in Monrovia. You'll thank me later.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to another edition of the Blitz. John Abraham, Cam Cool, alongside Joe Hunk here live in studio. Still figuring out what the name is. Joe, we'll get it one of these days.
Well,
I'm pretty sure we got one, but it's still like kind of being worked out.
It doesn't have to have a name. It'll come organically. I know it's habit because you've been doing it for about 2 years, so I understand. It'll come eventually. It'll just kind of pop in there, and next thing you know, boom! It's a thing. That's what we call it. I mean, again, I still haven't figured out a name for where all the trucks park in the outfield behind the Charger Park baseball field. Like I keep testing names for it, and I just can't figure it out just yet.
That should be a little bit easier.
I called it Tailgate Canyon last game.
Tailgate Canyon.
I mean, but there's no there's no hole, so it's not really like a canyon. You know what I'm saying? Tailgate Park doesn't sound good. Like, I'm trying to come up with names for it, so it'll eventually come.
You're throwing me off a little bit with that one. But either way, welcome into the show. Glad you're here to listen to us talk and ramble about sports for 2 hours straight. Not as much as that Tom Abraham guy, though. He rambles a little bit more than we do as we get a little bit goofy every once in a while, a little bit for the kids. I'll say that as I'm listening to your son right now, just in the background, just playing his video games. So that's what I mean when I say for the kids. We got a lot of fun things to get into.
It has to be for the kids today because, and again, totally, let's pull back the curtain on this. I'm going on about 2.5, 3 hours sleep.
Here we go. He's going to start talking about his family again. I can only talk about NASCAR for a little bit.
I know. All I'm saying is he was up all night. I've had to change multiple bed sheets. It has been very, very nasty. And so he did not go to school today. So I've set him up kind of in quarantine back there to play his games. But I also didn't, since he's so far back there, I didn't tell him that he needed to be quiet because it's not like he's in the studio.
He's back in the corner. He's right next to my desk.
Yeah, he's back in the corner. And so I figured it wouldn't be such a big deal, but apparently he's getting very vocal with these games already.
What did I tell you? You can't put Ollie in the corner.
You can't put Ollie in the corner just like you couldn't put Baby in the corner.
Exactly.
I wonder if he would like the little hidden room.
No, he would actually hate.
He would probably freak out if you try to put him in the hidden room.
You don't put the kid in the hidden room. We have a room.
The PlayStation in there. He would probably enjoy it.
Oh, he probably wouldn't notice the dark creaking and all the drips of water. Maybe it is literally a little dungeon that we got here in the studio. We also call it Drew's office.
Drew's office.
So it's behind the back room. And it is pitch black. There's piping. There's it's unpainted brick. I mean, that's what the room's called.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the new no man's land back
yeah,
there.
That is, if it wasn't on the second story, that would be a perfect spot for a tornado.
Yeah, no doubt about
that's
that.
a great spot to hide for that.
We got a lot of fun things in store for today. Of course, going to talk a little bit of college basketball, as yesterday was intriguing, and this weekend, of course, is super exciting. On top of that, going to hop into a little bit of NASCAR. Just a teen bit NASCAR in the first segment, Joe. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy.
Is that what Tom was talking about yesterday? I don't know. He started talking about cars going in circles, and I was zoned out.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Okay,
he was
just
talking
double checking.
about. On top of that, NFL trying to make some more rule changes. We'll get you guys caught up on all of that because I feel like they do this every single year, and you need somebody to throw out what the new rules are.
And isn't it amazing how quickly they look into changing things?
I know, it's so fast.
I mean, we have a conversation about it. People complain about it. Just some of these things, like just one of them, for instance, actually having digital and virtual first down markers so that so that we can know when the ball actually crosses over the first down line. That was mainly discussed during the AFC Championship game. Like, we had all kind of mentioned it, but when everything started happening against the Bills in favor of the Chiefs, it kind of became more of a bigger talking point. And now, look, we're still in the same month as the Super Bowl, and they're already looking to change the rule.
Yeah.
If this was the NCAA, they would think about it for 2025, and that would be the conversation to start for changing the rule in 2039.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that asinine with it, and the NFL will literally do it 2 weeks later.
I feel like there's definitely reasons behind that, Joe. I feel like having to do
it. The NCAA sucks?
No, because the NCAA has to deal with 130 plus teams, including all of the other leagues, whereas the NFL just has to simply deal with the 32 teams in their league, and it's all just football. Whereas NCAA, all over the place. And I know that they have divisions for basketball, for softball, for volleyball, for shuttlecock, for all of that good stuff.
You just love saying shuttlecock.
Oh, it's the new thing. It's a new thing.
Saying shuttlecock.
Yes, I do. But for the NFL, it's simply just the NFL. And it's crazy to say it's simply just the NFL because it's a multi-billion-dollar market. But at the end of the day, it's a lot smaller, a lot closer, and a lot more tight than the NCAA.
Look, if we need to put together a GoFundMe so that the NCAA can pay for some of these things that need to be implemented and added into every single stadium, then, I mean, we can start a GoFundMe. I mean, I know that they don't have a lot of money sitting around anywhere, and I'm sure that every once in a while somebody will call Indianapolis and be like, hey, guys, we need some new pins. Hold up. Let me check the bank account. Let me make sure. How many pins are you wanting to buy? Are you wanting to buy the box? Or you just want to get the two little pins that are in the packs at Walmart? Which one are we thinking here? Okay, no, we do have enough money for that. Now we can't buy the pack, but we can buy. It's idiotic, the fact that they seriously do not want to make things better and make certain changes better, especially with the sport that now in individual conferences, each conference is bringing in almost $1 billion with their revenue just from television deals alone.
Yeah.
It's asinine.
Yeah. Over in the SEC, though, within the NCAA, there are things getting ran correctly, and that's how to stack basketball teams because it has just been absolutely ridiculous. Vanderbilt last night able to beat the Aggies in College Station, Joe, 86-84. What a wild game this one was as both teams matched each other's points in the second half. Vanderbilt moves to 19-9 on the season, and Texas A&M falls to 20-8. Here's the funny thing. Vanderbilt's not ranked.
No.
But they're still just as good as Texas A&M. And both of these teams, regardless of how they finish off the season, well, maybe not Vanderbilt, are probably going to be in the big dance. And that's just, I mean, that's the same for a majority of these teams. Ole Miss, a team that just lost last night by a large margin to Auburn. A once great Ole Miss team, Joe, mind you. Top ranked, beat Alabama, was huge at one point.
Boy, you want to talk about a team took a left turn?
They definitely took a
left
left
turn. This was
turn.
like the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago. Remember they were like 11-1 at some point in time, and then they just could not win a game to finish the season off.
They lost like 7 games straight. It started with the Cardinals, and it was just bogus. But Auburn gets the win, moves to 26-2. What an insane season Bruce Pearl and that team are having. 106-76 was the score last night, as the Tigers were just able to totally take out any opportunity Ole Miss wanted in the second half. It was a wonderful defensive matchup, and we'd love to hear your opinions on that one as Alabama goes 2-0 and scores triple digits, in both of their matchups against the Mississippi teams. So take that, Mississippi. Go back to, I don't want to diss them too hard because we do have a lot of Mississippi State listeners, but regardless of that,
Mississippi State.
Arkansas got the dub against Texas in a wild matchup. It's the bottom tier teams going up against each other, minus South Carolina. We don't talk about them. Arkansas gets the win though, 86-81, and they keep their chances to make the big dance and possibly have a little bit of a run because again, this is John Calipari we're talking about, Joe. This is a guy that historically has been able to have at least somewhat of a run within March. So let's just keep that in mind. This team might crawl to March Madness, but they might find their wings and turn into some flying pigs whenever it does come. For Texas,
I love you.
It's getting tough, man. I love you too, brother.
It's so funny.
Some be a little, we're talking sports, all right?
But it's just,
you know what? I'm not. I was about to say,
it's just so funny to see the way that you try to connect everything.
It works, Joe. It works.
It is so hilarious to
it's
see.
like you connecting your outfits.
No, I did. Dude,
flannel look good.
Seriously, this is. I totally bought this shirt today, which you can see it on WZZN TV. I bought this thing today specifically for Huntsville Havoc games. And my wife, even when it came in, because it came in yesterday afternoon, she looked at me and she goes, "Hey, it's starting to get warm again. Like flannel's about to be out." And I said, "You don't realize this is for the bench when we are on the bench for all these Havoc games." Because for people that don't know, we have game tonight against Macon. We have a game on Saturday night. Now, tonight, I'm going to be on the call, so I'm going to be up, 200 feet in the air in the press box. But on Saturday, it'll be Steve and myself, so I'll be back on the bench. So my winter clothes do not get put up until after the hockey season's over with because I have to layer up every single time that I'm right there on the ice. So, yeah, something like what I'm rocking today, this is perfect from when I'm on the ice because I know that I want to say it's 7 more home games or 6 more home games is what we have left.
Get through it.
They have like 3 or 4 coming up in a row that they're going to be playing. And then you also have the playoffs that are going to be taking place that Steve and I are going to be doing as well. So there's a lot of things that are happening that I still need the winter clothes for. And I also need to color coordinate my outfits. I may be able to borrow one from a Havoc player that's leaving. And it sucks. Okay.
Joe,
this sucks.
Joe. Yeah, you're right. Good. Continue with it. Yeah.
Okay. Because if you don't know, and it's kind of weird to say this but this is a massive trade.
Yeah.
All right. It may not be a massive trade as far as like an NHL massive trade, but for the city of Huntsville and Havoc fans, this is a massive trade.
Which I think most of our listeners actually care about. So
right.
I don't think they're going to blame you for this one.
No, and when I saw it, I was shocked. So the first thing I saw was that Huntsville had made a trade with Knoxville, which is funny because the team was just in the city. Like you could have just had the player stay.
Yeah.
Could have done it. Now
he's got to move his house.
Be like, hey man. Well, they're most likely, he's living together, kind of like all the Havoc players are right now. They're all sharing a place. Mm-hmm. But so the first thing that I see is that the Havoc have traded for goalie Taylor Joseph, and I go, okay.
And they show Taylor, in the pictures too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, that's the first thing you say.
So
I like that. They're getting players.
Well, they get the player. We know that they'd had some goalie issues that had to make an emergency signing, everything. It's obvious that Brian Wilson's not coming back for a while.
Yeah.
But Taylor Joseph is probably the second best backup goalie in the SPHL right now. He's only averaging a little over 3 goals allowed over the 16 or 17 games that he's played in. So, okay. Solid backup goalie. Robo's still going to be getting majority of the starts. This isn't like a Brian Wilson and Robo situation where Mike Robinson is second fiddle, but he's still so incredibly good. It's not one of those. But then I see who it's for, and I had to do a double take because it's for Noah Finstrom.
Yeah.
The UAH Charger, like literally one of the last UAH Chargers, just got traded to Knoxville. And I'm like, that is a straight kick in the junk.
Yeah, it hurts me as well because he was actually on my one and only episode of the Havoc Hour. Yeah.
He was just on it 2 weeks ago.
And he was back on it 2 weeks ago. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, what hasn't even been 2 weeks? He was on it last Tuesday. Like it was that, and that was the one that you got to do, which by the way, John is going to be hosting the Havoc Hour coming up next Tuesday. By the way, don't miss it. We've got a lot of cool things planned for this. But it's the UAH Charger side of this. Like when it happened, the first thing you do is you go to the comments. And every single Havoc fan was one of those, wait, are you serious? Wait, why did we trade him? Wait, what's happening? No, this has to be a misprint. Why are we sending Noah? Like, it isn't like, obviously, he's not the best player on the Havoc team. Austin Alger's having an amazing season. Jack Yannick's having a great season. Obviously, Buster as well. He's not the best player on it, but he was the one that was connected to the city the most because of him being a former UAH Charger. I mean, now we can put Dom in that as well because he literally was committed to the school and died. I mean, when the hockey program died, he was committed there. But it was that connection of a former UAH Charger playing at Probst Arena for the Huntsville team. Like it was just kind of poetic and it was beautiful. And even he said it. Dude, he literally answered this. Go back and watch the Havoc Hour. Because we asked him about it. And he even said, hey, my time in Huntsville with UAH was the reason I wanted to come back to Huntsville and play for the Havoc. Like that was the reason he even came here and he got traded. And dude, I've been messed up about this for about the last 16, 18 hours. I kept looking at it. Like we just got word that Matt Allen's going to be back tonight. He just left Maine because he'd been up there for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And actually, no, it's even like 2 months. I take that back.
Oh, geez, it's a little bit longer.
It was like 16 games. And so he was up there for that amount of time and he's coming back. And I'm thinking, like, that's awesome. Love Matt Allen. He hopped in on the chat during the Havoc Hour. That was awesome. But I'm still like, Noah? Like, I'm not saying that there's another player on this team that I would be like, all right, cool, we can get rid of him. But Noah, like, that's the one that's that's connected to the city the most. And that one hurt. That one hurt. I know it's business, but that one sucked.
Yeah, definitely did.
That hurt.
Might set up for a question later down the road.
No, it absolutely is going to set up for a question because I'm sitting here thinking about this one and how much like I am genuinely sad about this to see the comments on both sides, whether it was Havoc fans on our own pages that are like, I can't believe he's gone. Why did we trade him? And then, and this is the cool part, going on to the Knoxville page when Knoxville announced that they had acquired him and how many different Havoc fans were telling the Knoxville fans, even after everything that's happened over the last 3 months, you were getting an amazing guy. You were getting a fantastic person. You're getting an awesome player. Please treat him right. He's such a good guy. Like it was one of those things that it was like, you could just tell how much this city loves Noah Finstrom.
Yeah. Don't worry, Bears. We're going to treat him right.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't really do anything else.
No. Again, I mean,
this is Havoc Nation.
No, I need to be friends with Taylor Joseph. The last goalies have saved my life a couple of times. I need to be friends with him.
Yeah, the thing is that I'm very interested in is when's he gonna get on the Havoc Hour?
Well, that's going to be genuinely because now we've literally went through everybody. Like
Yes.
we're back to Dom and Gio.
Uh-huh.
We've already had Noah a second time. McCabe is kind of a second time, but not really. But now it's Taylor Joseph. We're starting to get to these new guys, and then coming up later on in when March gets going, because that's going to be on Saturday. Now we start getting into that time where college hockey is over with and players are going to be getting signed to join the SPHL that way. So there's a lot of that part, but I'm genuinely curious. Is he going? He should be in town, I would assume, tonight. It's not like Knoxville's that far from Huntsville.
Yeah.
So he should be there tonight. But I'm sitting and I'm thinking this.
I mean, how far is not far?
I mean, he could have left yesterday and been here by dark.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the news broke at like what, noon?
I'm going to guess that it's like a 6-hour drive.
No.
5-6 hour drive.
It's only like 4 hours. Maybe even 3.5.
What?
Yes.
Maybe I'm thinking of Johnson City.
Yeah, you're thinking of Johnson City, Tennessee, where Darius Rucker has pissed me off with that song so many times. I never want to hear it ever again.
How far away is it?
All right, I'm GPSing this thing right now. It is 173 miles. It is 3.5 hours.
Damn, that's not long at all.
You throw on a Avengers Endgame, you watch the whole thing. You pull in the moment that you
dangerous.
snap.
Knoxville's got a lot of, hilly, mountainous roads that are kind of scary. So I'd rather not watch something else while the road's right in front of me.
He's pulling into the VBC, that moment that Iron Man goes, and that's it.
No, he was watching it before, and he heard the
snap,
and then he watched the final movie afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, so it was Thanos that looked at Thor, and he was like, "You should have went for the head."
Infinity War, and then Endgame on his way.
So all you gotta do is watch Infinity War, and he was gonna be here.
Well, that's an interesting one. You bring up the Procopio brothers as well, and we got a little bit of news for them. All right, and they probably were watching it last night, but we'll hold off on that. Again, the conversations to come. 256-576-9777 is the number to get into the Blitz as we move forward. Don't go anywhere because you're listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three, hard work. 2-on-1, driving, stepping through, stop shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's in the song. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 60s across the Tennessee Valley, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A sunny sky Friday afternoon, really going to be a fantastic end of the work week across the area. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight. Saturday, not going to be bad, a little bit cooler across the Tennessee Valley. Otherwise, a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s and lower 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We cover all the SEC VBC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want money.
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Get up off that high horse. Get on off this train. Get up off that high horse.
You know, this one's funny enough, like bad funny, that I will let it ride.
I actually started working on some more music as well yesterday.
Oh, you care about me, Joe.
Yeah, I started working on a little bit more. So
Okay, good.
yeah, just something, you know.
Maybe some Drake.
No, he's dead. Remember?
Travis Scott.
Now that I would do.
Um,
Throw some more Kendrick in there. I mean, Drake's career's over.
who's the big Hawaiian dude?
Maui.
No, not that big Hawaiian
Rock.
dude. No, I'm talking about the bigger Hawaiian dude that used to do songs. That's not The Rock or Maui.
I was like sitting here going, "This
The guy that he was like laying in the pool. He's like enormous. Okay. We'll figure that out by the end of the show. If you know it, 256.
Rikishi. I'm just gonna start naming members of the bloodline.
Okay.
Roman Reigns. Like that's the only thing, because you say Hawaiian, I
Maybe
instantly think Samoan.
the listeners might know. It was on the album cover. Come on, or the single.
Yeah, I
think-
just know the guy that played the ukulele.
Was that the guy? That was the guy I thought. Maybe not.
Yeah, like he played the ukulele. He went in and he was like, "Hey man, can I record this song?" And next thing you know, he went in. He literally only recorded it one time. He got it perfect the first time. And it's I think it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow or something like that.
That's
Yeah,
the song.
Somewhere Over
That's
the
the
Rainbow.
song.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
look that
yes.
up. You'll find that out. If you guys know the answer, which Joe's probably going to answer it beforehand, but if you
I
want
mean, I can't say the guy's name.
hang out and talk sports with us, if you could pronounce the name correctly, 256-576-97.7 is the number to
Israel
get
Kamako
in.
Aule.
I didn't know he was Israeli.
He's not. He's Samoan.
He's definitely not.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, but no, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He literally like walked in and on the first shot just nailed it. And
I had no idea about that. I did not know that was the story behind that
Yeah.
song. I mean, it's a pretty simple song.
See,
but
look,
I couldn't do it.
Here's the story. The song was originally recorded in a spur of the moment demo session in 1988. He called the recording studio at 3 a.m. and was given a 15-minute deadline to arrive by the recording engineer. He was probably like, the people that were there said the recording engineer said he was like close to 500 pounds when he walked in.
Oh, he was big. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not holding that against him. He made an amazing hit song in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so they had to find him a chair just to sit in. He goes, I put some microphones around him. Did a quick sound check. I rolled the tape, and the first thing he does was Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He played and sang one take. It was over.
Never judge a book by its cover.
I mean, absolutely amazing.
Definitely
is what
can't
it
do
was. And then the song came out around Thanksgiving of 1990, and boom, here we are.
I've got two more things that are amazing for you, Joe. First thing is Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The wonderful people who, of course, sponsor the show.
Because they are like Israel, chameleon, and they show up.
They show up and they'll take care of any of your roofing problems, whether you need a full roof repair or just need a few shingles fixed up and knocked out. On top of that, you can find them online. Fill out your free quote. FlemingHSV.com is the place to find them. And like Joe said, they always show up. Similar to Michigan State, whenever, there's seconds on the board and they don't really need to make a last-second heave, but they do it. If you're watching on WZZN TV, you'll get the full effect of this. But
video?
Yeah, I got
From Maryland, they gotta go. Gillespie for three. Call him no.
I mean, we just got guys running around, heaves it up. It's not even a half-court shot. This is before the half court, all right? He gets there well before. The celebration ensues. It's wonderful. It's madness. Maryland's ranked 16th, by the way, so it's no like – we're not talking about, Michigan State's an 8th-ranked team about to lose. This is also the Procopio's favorite college team. Did they go to Michigan State?
No, they didn't. No, they lived right outside of Detroit.
But they were huge fans of Kirk Cousins.
Grosse Pointe or something like that, I believe is the city. And here's the truth behind this. I loathe Michigan State.
Why is
that? If there was ever a school, and this is counting all of my rivals for all of my schools and everything.
And then
If there was ever a school that I would be okay with it being wiped off the face of the earth, it
What?
would be Michigan State.
Why?
It's
There's
totally
no reason.
It all goes back to the Larry Nassar stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it all goes back to that. Like, I mean, seriously, it was. the whole thing with him and all the things that happened, including the stuff with the basketball program that wasn't connected to Larry Nassar, like the program is one of the dirtiest that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I hate Michigan State with a passion.
But I mean, I can see why you would hate a person who went to a college, like I would throw out Jerry Sandusky for my own personal beliefs. But at the same time, Penn State isn't a team that I hate, but I know that there is some bad blood in the history of that team.
And I think that for me, it was just that it was not just one person that was doing something bad. The Larry Nassar thing could be one of the biggest scandals in all of sports history, and people don't talk about it.
There was like 100+ victims.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely insane. And because it isn't a football story or a basketball story, then it doesn't get talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have all of the sexual misconduct stuff that was going on with Michigan State, how Izzo was kind of caught up in all of it. It was, it was multiple sports. And so I'm just like, the whole program can just burn, in my opinion.
Well, now you're making it out like the Procopio brothers have a terrible team.
No, you can't. No, they don't have a terrible team. I mean,
they
Michigan
would be
State's
laughing at this
garbage in majority of this. But it's not their preference. They literally grew up in this. Look, they grew up in a period where, especially in the state of Michigan, you're choosing, are you Wolverines or are you Spartans? Which one are you? So I can't fault them for liking it. It's just, again, it's like Penn State fans. You can't fault Penn State fans for being Penn State fans after you found out about everything that Jerry Sandusky did.
Yeah.
It's embedded in you. So it's not them. It's just the program in general. Like I genuinely loathe that program more than any other program in any sport.
Well, Trey Holloman, he probably is feeling pretty good about himself this morning, as he was the one that hit that buzzer beater to win this game and move forward. The Spartans, I know we don't talk too much Big Ten. We don't talk too much outside of the SEC, but the Spartans are 23-5 right now. They got 3 more matchups to go. Wisconsin, that's ranked 11th. Then they have Iowa, that at one point could have been looked at as a decent team. Now they're not really sitting too hot, but regardless of that, they're still able to get a few wins on the season. But yeah, they're close to the bottom. But then you see Michigan State and who they face off against the final week. I mean, you can't compare this to Alabama's schedule. You definitely can't. But they got to face off against number 15 Michigan. And that is always going to be a wonderful matchup that you're going to see just totally packed. Michigan State is definitely going to be feeling the pressure in that one. They're going to be at home. That's going to be on March 9th. And of course, it's a morning game, but that's just besides the point. But that was one of those victories. That was one of those last second shots that really just kind of pushes you back in time. That makes you think about, what was a game? And I don't want to set this up to where it's like, the kick six. I don't want to hear the and we will.
If you're going the direction I think you're going, then the kick six and like the second and 2 is probably going to be at the top of a lot of people's minds.
But there's got to be something that's going to take you back to the first time you ever saw something crazy. I would say the Music City Miracle would be one. I would respect that. That would go back to, whenever I was a little bit younger. When was the first time you saw something that really shocked you within sports that made you think, wow, this really is the most unpredictable thing? It doesn't matter if it's basketball, football, tennis,
no,
cricket.
Okay, that's fun with that.
Doesn't matter. Even soccer, you can throw that out there. I just want to know what the listeners think whenever they think of their first experience watching something ridiculous happen in the final seconds to get your team or a team a secured victory, like Michigan State did last night against the Terpets.
No, because now I'm starting to think, and I try to think of like the good ones, but then I also turn around and can like think of the bad ones as well.
The Jets a few years ago, Joe Flacco, 2 touchdowns down at Cleveland. They end up winning with only 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one that I think.
Well, yeah, and so like I can go back and I will probably say, and this is probably like the first sports memories type thing that you're thinking of. Is unfortunately like the first sports memory that I could probably remember is actually a bad one. And it was Kirby Puckett's home run in Game 6 of the 91 World Series. I think I literally hated him for the rest of my life because of that home run.
That happens.
I think I grew to appreciate Jack Buck's call of it, because then you started having Joe Buck, and Joe Buck did the exact same call against the for the Cardinals and the Rangers World Series when that took place in, I want to say 2011, I believe is when that one happened. So like I appreciate that, but as a little kid, I literally hated Kirby Puckett with a passion because of that home run that sent the World Series to Game 7, which then the Twins would eventually beat the Braves in. And I think that it was one of those where I seriously thought I was about to watch the Braves win a World Series. At that time, I was like 7. So I mean, like my son right now isn't even 7. So it's kind of the equivalent of what he is. And I'm thinking to myself, that may be the first one, but it's also not like it's a positive one. Like I'm even trying to think of the first positive memory that I had where I thought anything was possible, because the negative ones are the ones that pop up in my head first.
Well, Corey just called it, and he was talking about the Jimmy V victory back in '83. North Carolina State.
With the tip in.
Yep. That last second right there. And that right there is definitely one of those that I'm going to, because those are those first few experiences a lot of people get that make them fall in love with sports. All right. So I'm just thinking about the kids that are watching that game last night. It doesn't matter if they're up north or they're down south, just watching this game and they see that happen. That will make somebody fall in love. A race that's getting down to the last few laps, and you see, this racer that's got a really cool car. It could be Jeff Gordon back in the day. It's got the flames or it's got the rainbows, whatever you like. And it gets down to, hey, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a push, or even Carson Hocevar just a few days ago. I know he's getting a lot of heat, but regardless of that, he was racing.
Who?
Carson Hocevar, number 77. You know him. You don't know him.
No, don't know.
Second year racer.
No,
he was
don't
rookie of the year first year. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how you don't know this, but
I mean, is it that thing that goes in circles in the car?
yes,
That
in
was the reason
Atlanta.
why.
He was pushing people around, but everybody wants to look at him like he is some, kid in a car that doesn't have any sense of him, that doesn't know how to race or anything like this. Guys, do we remember how Kyle Busch was whenever he first started out? Do we remember how Dale Earnhardt was? He was the intimidator.
Am I listening to the Tom
Joe.
Abraham show? I feel like I've heard this before. I heard this yesterday. I swear to God, I heard that exact statement.
Was he talking about Carson? Because you know what? He was
No, of
talking
course
the
he was.
opposite level.
No, of course he was. But I also remember the phrase. Does everybody remember how Kyle Busch was when he was young? I remember that
Did he
phrase.
say that yesterday?
Yes,
Oh,
that's why I'm
oh.
sitting here going like, am I listening? Is this Tom talking now?
Am I Tom? Is that the thing right
I'm
here?
trying so hard to get that out of you right now.
Listen to me, Joe. You're not going to get the NASCAR. You're not going to get the NAS out of the car. That's the way I'll put it. But like Corey said, though, I mean, that was one of those games that I personally did not get to watch. But if I saw that, it would have been the same. The kick six for Auburn fans, for younger kids back in 2011, 2012, that got to see that happen.
It's 2013.
Oh, still, I mean, that were growing up. That
It's the
started
last great thing that happened to Auburn.
that
okay? Just to be
mind
honest.
started moving, around 2013. That right there would get somebody into a sport.
Yeah, no, and what's also like I'm sitting and trying to think of the other ones that you could possibly throw in with it is, I really do think I can remember where I was for Leitner when Leitner made the shot for Duke over Kentucky. I want to say I was at a funeral home. I really do want to say that I was at a funeral home sitting in an office. We were watching that game for some reason because I can remember like the whole area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really kind of weird that when I think of a funeral home, that's what I'm thinking of. But I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I know that a lot of people were upset about it. And I know that was something that is going to stick with a ton of people. I know that, look, this happened in 2016. And so now we are, 8 years removed from this?
Mm-hmm.
There is probably a 15-year-old right now that is walking around their high school, probably changing classes. And if you were to ask them a moment that they literally either hate or loathe in time, it was going to be LeBron making the block in the NBA Finals and Kyrie Irving making the shot right after. Like, they're going to say that. Like, and if you know anything about that series, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, LeBron coming up from behind, making the block on, I believe it was Iguodala, and then turning around, and then Kyrie Irving just draining a three. to basically seal it for the Cavs and to seal the championship. Like that was one that I can guarantee you some 15-year-old right now is still thinking about that.
Well, how about this one? All right, because I have it. I'm getting it queued up over on the stream right now on WZZN TV. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to that bad boy. All right, you're not going to want to miss a second of anything that goes on over there. And I hear your kid also talking.
He has trouble with the snap.
He's probably trying
and
to
the ball is
tell
free.
his answer
It's
with this
picked
as
up
well.
by
How about
Michigan
State? I think it's
Jalen Watts
16.
Jackson, and he scores.
Who's the team? Just what I'm saying.
Versus
Play
Michigan.
of the game.
I'm going to go ahead and say no on this just
Unbelievable.
because of who the team was.
Come on. It was that right there. You get to see Jim all sad, all like, what the hell just happened? We were just trying to punt the ball away, and they take it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that is how number 7 Michigan, who was undefeated at the time, beat number 12 or Michigan State, I should say, number 7 Michigan State, upset number 12 Michigan that time because yes, it happened, but just because it was Michigan State, I'm going to go ahead and say no to that. Again, personal thing, nothing against it. Love you guys, but
I shouldn't have thrown out 2 Michigan.
Yeah, no, you just put Michigan State back to back on that.
Like it's because that's another one that I think of. It could have been Michigan that did it at the same time. Who cares? To me, it's still one of those whoa type of moments.
Well, and we're in that part of the year as well where this is going to potentially happen more and more because you're going to start getting conference tournaments. Look, last night, the game that happened on 97.7 between Lipscomb and Central Arkansas, that was the last game of the regular season for both of those teams. The ASUN tournament starts next week.
How'd that game end, by the way?
In a win.
For Lipscomb?
Yes.
Of course it did.
Yeah. It was Central Arkansas is awful.
Well, they are. They only have like 6 wins on the season. I feel bad for them.
So
but they'll get there.
No, and so that's why even like we're in that time of year where you're going to have the last second buzzer beaters and everything that is going to lead to these magical moments that you're going to remember. I would even throw out, and again, not any one of my teams, but I would even throw out the scenario that I think every single kid has practiced if they were playing a sport, and even with basketball, was the game-winning 3 that it wasn't it UConn, I believe is what it was, that drained the game winner, or no, it's Villanova, drained the game-winning 3 over North Carolina to win the national championship. Like, we've all thought of that. Think about if you go back and if Butler would have made the half-court shot against Duke. How many people would have remembered that for those moments?
How many people would instead be Duke fans, be Butler fans?
I mean,
probably the bandwagon can go crazy. Let's hop into the phone lines real quick because we got some of the listeners. Lloyd has his own memory. Lloyd, how you doing?
All right, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Not too bad. Just quick. I agree. The 81, I believe it was, North Carolina State, Houston. But then also in 82, you had Stanford and Cal and the band on the field at the end of the game and the guy running through the band, knocking.
Yes.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that would be one of those things that you're watching that game and you're thinking, oh my heavens, what on earth am I watching right now?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, that would be one of those right there. And again, I know the Michigan State win was one that happened in the regular season, but still, I mean, that one between Stanford and Cal literally is going to live on for the rest of time.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
All right, guys. Have a good show.
Hey, thanks for that. We appreciate it. You can also get your comments in as well as you can get those over on WZZN TV. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, on X, or you can even go to YouTube and you can watch it right there just by simply hopping in the chat section. We'll see those as we get going because we know how many of you are at work and or school because we know that there's some kids that actually listen to us during class. So we appreciate that.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah, I know that for sure. As a matter of fact, I've actually had a couple of students at a particular university tell me that they bring their laptops and they'll have their laptops up as they're taking notes.
Okay.
And they'll have us on the other side and they'll have one of their earbuds in listening. Yeah.
The app is free,
Yeah.
as well as our website, 977ESPN.com. So be smart like those kids.
Yeah,
Take
absolutely.
advantage of these amazing deals. And
Yeah,
speaking
so
of deals, big zone deals.
Zone deals, yes.
Over on 977 ESPN.com. You're not going to want to miss out on any of the good stuff they got going on over there. But we do need to hop into a break.
Yep.
We appreciate those memories, and we're going to get into possibly some more throughout the show. We also have a conversation set up in the second hour with Coach Ronnie Watson from the Sparkman Senators, and I am very much looking forward to talking to him about all of the offseason nonsense that coaches need to go through nowadays.
And we'll be straight with you. We will ask him about the elephant in the room.
This is the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Grapefruit League Baseball today. Atlanta Braves laying $1.20 against the Nationals plus 100. NASCAR Cup Series, the Echo Park, Texas Grand Prix of the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. Shane Van Gisbergen, the 5-1 favorite. Connor Zillage 6-1. Tyler Reddick 7-1. William Byron plus 750. College basketball last night. Auburn 106-76 over Ole Miss, covering as 12.5-point favorites. Today, Liberty, a 6.5-point favorite over the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State, 133.5 the total. And UAB is a 1.5 underdog at the Wichita State Shockers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
I'm here with Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing, John Kendall. And John, if you're hearing this commercial right now and you're thinking of getting a new house, boy, oh boy, do you guys have a deal.
We do. It's a grant. $25,000 if you're a veteran, $20,000 if you're not a veteran. This can be used for closing costs, down payments.
Very simple. All you have to do is give Bank of Frank Ewing a call at
256-507-9180.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, it takes just a few minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes on the phone. We'll send you a link and you fill that out in your own time. We'll approve you.
Who would not want $25,000 for a new house? John Kendall, give them the phone number and online address one more time.
256-507-9180 or at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing giving you $25,000 for a new house. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDIC insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 60s across the Tennessee Valley, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A sunny sky Friday afternoon, really going to be a fantastic end of the work week across the area. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight. Saturday, not going to be bad, a little bit cooler across the Tennessee Valley. Otherwise, a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s and lower 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are your home for March Madness.
For a second straight year, Ivy Madness has come to March Madness. Yale upsets Auburn, and Yale is on to the second round.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You can't take the Nashville
I get
out
it.
of the guy.
I did all this music when I first moved back from Nashville.
You must have not knew who I was, Joe.
No, I really didn't.
I'm an old-fashioned country guy.
Well, no, you are, just because you got that daddy in you. But it's also
I am daddy. Thank you.
no, it was a way that I was like, you know what? This is new Southern country. Like, this is new outlaw country, which is what I like. Don't
Give me Sturgill Simpson, please.
256-576-977 coming up in a few minutes. Matter of fact, in about 30 minutes from right now, head coach of Sparkman High School, Ronnie Watson, is going to be joining us to talk about the offseason program that they are going through, as well as a lot of other things that I know that a lot of people in the area are going to be caring about because it has been things that we've been asked about when it comes to it. So that's going to be coming up in about 30 minutes from right now. But let's go back to the phone lines. 256-576-977. Wolverine Dan, welcome in, man. How's it going?
Well, I still don't understand why Tom thinks that Leonard Skinner's better than the Allman Brothers.
I mean, let's be honest. Again, here's my belief on Leonard Skinner. They've literally been a cover band for like 40 years. So, I mean.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. At least younger generation getting it right, because your dad ain't getting it right at all. I mean, he ain't right. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to apologize for the Michigan thing we did back in the day. That doesn't bother me. You know why? Because this past year, back-to-back against Alabama, and it was the last play of the game, both games, and we shut you down, bro.
Yeah, it was. It was on the opposite side. It wasn't like an awesome offensive player. It was just a defensive stop, and it was consisting mainly of Jalen Milroe getting stopped. God, I'm gone.
Well, here's the deal. That's what I'm saying. It's back-to-back in the same year, in the last play by the same guy that touched the ball. That is really cool. So, see, I've got that the rest of my days on this earth. My last breath will be, I'll say back-to-back my life.
Always back-to-back. I could say back-to-back about some national championships. That's a different story.
That's fine. I mean, and you're going to have to live with that, too, because this guy ain't going to get you there. You know what? It doesn't matter who the coach was, really. You're following the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
Expectations are unbelievable every year. And he met him. Every year he met him. That's how good he was. You're not going to get that ever again. And I don't know who's going to be the guy, but I don't think this is the guy that's going to get you what Saban gave you.
Well, you throw out a good point, and it's intriguing. I just don't think we've seen enough of it to really base that judgment off of it. Because, I mean, again, he came into Alabama after taking a team that had little to no five-star recruits to the national championship. He took a team, to the playoffs. He almost got him to the playoffs his first season with Alabama, and that's with a quarterback that was already set in his ways. Now he kind of is going to be able to do what he needs to do with this roster. And from there on.
I hear what you're saying, but your dad's always said facts are stubborn things. Okay, now Nick Saban wouldn't have lost the way he lost to Tennessee and Oklahoma, Vanderbilt in Oklahoma. He wouldn't have done that. So this already is a mark against your coach you have now. So based on that and trying to keep up with the greatest coach, I don't like your odds. I think you're better off down the road. You're probably going to have to find a different coach, a more defensively minded.
Didn't Nick Saban in his first season with Alabama?
He was 500.
Yeah, he lost to
As a matter of fact, I think he was-
Monroe.
I think he was
But
five.
it's the way you lost. It's the way you lost says everything.
Well, and to be honest with you, the reason why they lost though is now gone. So it's actually an addition by subtraction. And,
Well,
and,
you
and
know,
look, I trust me. You know, I'm not a Bama fan. All I'm saying is at the quarterback position now, they are much better off than what they were when they had him at quarterback.
Well, and it's hard to look at. It's like a revolver. You got one bullet. You got 6 chambers. That's what Milroe was. You know, you can pull the trigger 5 times and everything's possible. There's always that one chamber after the 5th one's going to get you.
Yeah.
And the thing with Milroe, you never know if there was a bullet in that chamber or not. He played fantastic many times. Then but he's going to lay that dud. What would you rather have? Someone that's consistent, especially at TV, you want to be consistent. You know, of course, you look at TV that's unbelievably great. Could be a Heisman Trophy winner, but he also needs to be consistent. I prefer a quarterback to be a good quarterback, but also be more on the consistent side.
Yeah.
Always you know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
turn
and
the ball
Dan,
over.
and Dan, your phone's breaking up, and we got to roll, man. Sorry about that.
I got
Yeah.
the gist of what you were
Yeah.
saying, though. We got
Yeah.
the gist of what he was saying.
Okay, explain that to me when we come back.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will.
explain to me when we come back because I was missing. I was trying to pay attention. It was a little bit more difficult.
A little bit of consistency.
We'll continue taking your
uh,
phone calls 256-576-4977. It was not energetic.
We're already
at all.
halfway through this show.
Yeah, halfway through. Coach Ronnie Watson's going to be coming up at
happened to
10:20. Talk a little Sparkman football as we continue on the Blitz on this Thursday morning.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store, for over 25 years, helping people get back to the life they love without their feet getting in the way. Start your journey at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are post-game thoughts from head coach Nate Oates following Alabama men's basketball's win on Tuesday against Mississippi State.
A little bit better start than what we'd had. I think it's the first time we've led it the first media timeout since Arkansas. So been stressing to have a little bit better sense of urgency to start the games. I thought LeBaron's sense of urgency to get stops on Hubbard was really good. That's what we need out of LeBaron every night. I thought he played great. You know, he ended up with 10 and 5 with only 2 turnovers. But I thought, it's one of those deals where when you just get really locked into the right stuff and lose yourself in the game, the offense comes a lot easier. You know, he shot 2 of 5 from 3, contributed to 22 threes we made.
I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for the Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, the Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Grapefruit League Baseball today. Atlanta Braves laying $1.20 against the Nationals plus 100. NASCAR Cup Series, the Echo Park, Texas Grand Prix of the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. Shane Van Gisbergen, the 5-1 favorite. Connor Zillage 6-1. Tyler Reddick 7-1. William Byron plus 750. College basketball last night. Auburn 106-76 over Ole Miss, covering as 12.5-point favorites. Today, Liberty, a 6.5-point favorite over the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State, 133.5 the total. And UAB is a 1.5 underdog at the Wichita State Shockers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 60s across the Tennessee Valley, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A sunny sky Friday afternoon, really going to be a fantastic end of the work week across the area. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight. Saturday, not going to be bad, a little bit cooler across the Tennessee Valley. Otherwise, a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s and lower 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 97.7ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you on this Thursday morning. Coming up tonight, UAH is on the road, and not even going to try to compliment the city, but they're in West Alabama that they're going to be playing. Now, if you've ever been there, it's.
Is it Moulton?
No, it's not Moulton.
Oh, I like Moulton.
No, it's definitely not
Moulton,
Moulton.
Alabama.
No, it's not.
There's a few campsites out there.
It's Livingston, Alabama. Trust me.
Nothing like Coach Livingston, right?
No, nothing like Coach Livingston.
On the Sparkman 7.
No. And his head coach, we're actually going to be talking to here in just a few moments. Steve and Scott are gaining a lot of miles, and those are going up in the vehicles as they're driving, because yesterday they were in Nashville for Lipscomb and Central Arkansas, where Lipscomb beat Central Arkansas 78-60. Now Lipscomb, who won the conference championship regular season title, they are now going to be waiting to see who wins between Stetson and Central Arkansas next weekend or next week. And on Monday, we'll be playing the winner of those two in the quarterfinals. So that's going on there. And then tonight, we do have Havoc Hockey as well. That's going to be over on the Havoc Zone that you can get courtesy of the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. You can also watch it on Flow Hockey as well, as Huntsville is going to be welcoming in the Macon Mayhem. And yes, there are a few changes to the lineup for this Huntsville team. If you missed it in the first hour, Huntsville had a humongous trade that they did yesterday afternoon, right after the show wrapped up, as they traded with Knoxville, and they sent Noah Finstrom, the former UAH Charger, to Knoxville for goalie Taylor Joseph to come in and back up Mike Robinson. Also, right winger Matt Allen has finished his time in the ECHL with Maine, and he is back down with Huntsville. And Terry Ryder is going to be on a 1-game suspension for tonight's game because of the boarding call that he got against Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
Now,
very nice.
Also, if you're curious about Taylor Joseph, yes, he is the goalie that got into the fight with Robo during the January 25th game.
I was wondering how much bad blood there would be, but I feel like in professional sports, especially with a lot of trades going on throughout the season, because is there a deadline? I don't think there's a deadline in the SPHL.
Look, they've only got a few games left.
That's what I'm saying. They're all the way through.
Maybe 6. Look, the last Havoc Hour at the moment is scheduled for April Fool's Day. We're almost the one you're doing is on March 4th. We've only got like 3 after that.
April Fools, we're gonna go all year long.
Yeah, I mean it is, and so yeah, no, this season is getting closer to wrapping up on that. So yeah,
Jeez.
Taylor Joseph is the goalie that skated down, and he and Robo had a nice little meeting during the January 25th game against Knox. I just don't know when the goalie walks in, like it was kind of like what we were talking about with Terry Ryder and with Ruffin. Whenever they saw Cervoni, like, do you just go, "Sup"?
Yeah, you can't have bad blood. You can't have bad blood. It doesn't matter if you're the goalie or a left wing. I mean, you're going to come in and you're going to have to, adjust because this is a team that's trying to win. Once they know that this guy's on their team, he's a part of their squad.
No, he is.
He knows that Knoxville's behind him now, and it's all Huntsville. And I don't think he's going to be complaining because he's coming to a really good team and a really good town with the best arena, I would say, in all of the SPHL.
And he actually hasn't qualified for the goalie stats right now, as far as whenever you're looking at goalie stats.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the unqualified, which has all the goalies that have played so far this season, that's where he's kind of sitting. And honestly, outside of what Peoria is doing right now, because they have a lot of goalies that's kind of at the top of the SPHL, this is the second best backup goalie that you can have in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So at least it's somebody behind Robo that can maybe give him a little bit of rest. Yeah. I know that right now Huntsville and Peoria are tied for first place again because Huntsville won last weekend, and then Peoria won the other day, which tied it back up at 63 points apiece for the first place. And so I know that you're wanting to win every single game, but at some point in time, Robo is going to need a break.
Yeah,
he absolutely doesn't, especially with Colburn up in the ECHL right now. That you need somebody that you can kind of hand it over to just to give him at least one game rest.
Yeah, some other trade news you might want to focus on throughout the NFL. On the other hand, Matthew Stafford's going to be out there. There's plenty of options for him. A lot of people thinking that Tom Brady was trying to recruit him when he accidentally ran into him on like a ski resort or something like that. Accidentally.
That caused a fight between media members, by the way.
They didn't say anything about bringing him in, but, Matthew Stafford accidentally met with Tom Brady. So, they didn't talk anything business.
But no, seriously. So that actually did cause a fight at the combine between media members.
No way.
Because there's one media member that did say exactly what you were reading. And then Ian Rappaport was like, look, that was just a by chance. Here's the reason why it all took place. And so they had a confrontation somewhere in Indianapolis during the combine. So like everybody's over here focusing on all the defensive players that are about to get ready to run the 40s, which I believe that's actually just started. And in the middle of that, Ian Rappaport, who is like one of the most, if he writes something and you read it, then just go ahead and say he's only doing that because he knows for a fact.
No doubt.
And so he is one of the most trusted media members that you can have. And it was between him and another media member that got into an argument.
Yeah.
They were like, we got something to talk about. And he's like, nope, not on my end.
Welcome to the off season.
I mean, that's Ian Rappaport that was getting that way. So a lot of that's happened. And also Abdul Carter is they found that he has like a hairline fracture, I believe is what it is.
Well, he wasn't going to even participate.
But you still have to go through the medicals.
Okay.
Like even though you're probably not going to participate in the on the field drills,
you can still take the test though.
You still do everything else.
Exactly. And
you
a majority.
Still take the Wonderlic, you still take the other tests that they're offering now, which I always forget what the name of that one is. You still take all the physical stuff, like all of the other things. You do all the meetings, you do everything. The only thing that we see is what's on the field, and that's what he's not going to be participating in.
Which a majority of the top prospects are also going to be sitting out with the combine. They're just going to be taking the test. They're going to be getting the coach study and all of that stuff. But I mean, Abdul Carter, I don't think he was going to even participate in it. It's the thing where, similar to last year, you see the top players, they don't need to risk anything to try and pummel their. I saw Ali in the mirror. I saw him.
I know.
He's right there.
Yeah, he is right there.
I know. I'm not used to other people being in the studio at this time.
Yeah, let me go check out because he is sick, and I'm like, God, if he's the first one to throw up in this room right now, I would be totally just
go check
blown away by that.
Go check on him. Don't make me
But no,
With the AI. Are you?
no, I'm
you're
gonna.
staying there. Okay, good.
He walked back. He's not freaking out.
But they don't want to try and ruin their draft stock. So they're going to sit out. Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, Caleb Williams, those are just two of the few that did not participate. Abdul Carter's looking like a second or third pick, not third round pick in the draft.
Well, and with Abdul Carter, there is a true opportunity for him to be the number 1 overall pick. Like that, like if the Titans did make that pick and they selected him, then they are getting a guy if he stays healthy, because again, a small stress fracture, a lot of times that is nothing. And even all the doctors that he met with afterwards had said that he doesn't need testing. What he probably just needs is for it to rest a little bit. Yeah. He's got his pro days coming up on March 28th. And apparently right after they found out about this, they went in for some more scans on the foot, and it looks like it should be something that is good to go by his pro day with Penn State. But there is a legit possibility of him being the number 1 overall pick. And you do want to make sure that everything is good when it comes to this. Look, a hairline fracture is annoying, but the only thing you can do is let it really heal on its own a lot of times. And it's a stress fracture. So it's kind of one, but I've had hairline fractures in my feet before, and no, they are very uncomfortable to do it. And they do cause you to not be able to run at full speed, not be able to walk at full speed. Like it totally changes a lot of the ways that you do it, but you have to just let it kind of heal.
Yeah, any combine stats that we get that absolutely blow us out of the water, all right, like a John Ross 4.22. Where's he at now? But anything like that.
He's on a practice squad now.
I think he retired, Joe. I think he actually retired like 2 years ago because he could not find himself actually starting for a team. But any of those big stories, we'll let you guys know tomorrow, just in case you missed it. Other people you can look at, as we were talking about, of course, the Havoc, Noah Finstrom, and the trade for Tyler Johnson Joseph. That's his name. Still getting used to this new guy's name.
Taylor Joseph.
Almost, it was approximate knowledge of almost everything. DK Metcalf is also a guy to be looking at because of the Seattle Seahawks and their stacked wide receiver core. On top of that, Deebo Samuel. I think the reason they want to trade him is because he's changed his number and he doesn't look as intimidating, and because Jawan Jennings is an absolute beast. And also they got to pay some of their wide receivers, and they can't pay all of them. So that, just an idea. Christian Kirk is somebody on the Jacksonville Jaguars who is an absolute talent, but he plays for a team that can't get him the ball. And that's why I was throwing this out there, Joe. I was throwing this out there. This could possibly be a Jacksonville Jaguars team that is desperate for a quarterback, not to start, but to start making the move to starting. And I get it. They're paying Travis Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. I'm all over the place with the names. They're paying him a lot of money. But at the end of the day, if he's not going to produce, they're going to find somebody that will. Again, like the Havoc. This is a business move. They're trying to get to the playoffs. They're trying to make a deep push. I see Jacksonville getting away from Trevor Lawrence soon. And I know it's crazy to think about with a guy that was just in college winning national championships in 2019. Kyle Pitts is up there. And I know.
I still think Kyle Pitts could be a beast in the right program.
You, as well as some fantasy people, are throwing out that this guy's going to have a resurgence this season. If he's with the Falcons, how likely is that? With Michael Penix Jr. as the starting.
Okay, so Michael Penix Jr. actually did kind of find him a little bit more than what Kirk Cousins did.
Exactly.
And definitely found him a lot more than what the other quarterbacks for the Falcons did over the past couple of seasons. So I still do think that in the right system, he would be somebody that is going to be a very, very good tight end. I'm wanting to say this may be the last year of his deal, of his rookie contract, but the thing for him is, which could be a good thing, is he has not put up the numbers by a wide receiver / tight end that would justify you wanting to add him to the franchise tag. Yeah. And so that means that they would also, Falcons most likely would say, we don't want to pick up your 5th-year option because he was a first-round draft pick. And that's going to allow him to be a free agent. That's going to let him pick which offense he goes to where he could be most suited for. And look, you can look at situations like the Steelers, who love throwing to their tight ends. I mean, look, be honest with yourself. Don't know what's going to happen over the next 365 days. But if you put Kyle Pitts on the opposite side of Travis Kelce, or even to be the guy after Travis Kelce if Kelce steps away. Those are options that you could be very successful with.
That's a perfect reload, I would say.
I mean, that's what, especially if you can't be successful with the new GOAT, then you're not going to be able to be successful in the NFL at all. Because I promise you, Mahomes is going to find a wide receiver that's open. It doesn't matter what name is on the back of the jersey, because a lot of times last season, he didn't even know what the name was on the back of the jersey.
It's true.
So that is why that if you put him in an offense like that, where he could be good, or Philadelphia, where they could be looking for a tight end as well, there's a lot of teams in the NFL that would take a risk on signing a 2-year deal with a tight end where they could potentially have an option for a third season and see what they could potentially get out of him, to see if it was just a bad system, bad fit for a player that has a lot of talent, or if there's more to it. Like, we know a lot of times, like, look, everybody in the NFL in the course of the next 3 days is going to fall in love with Jalen Milroe when they see him run, when they see him pass and all that. But every single Alabama fan and every single person around the program is like, yeah, I know the reason why he's not going to do good. You hear that. We don't know if that's the case for the Falcons. We don't know if there's something internally that is a Kyle Pitts, hey, you know what? He doesn't work that hard. Or, hey, he's a guy that, he's in film sessions. We're telling him what to do, but he's not making the changes. Like, we don't know if it's one of those scenarios. And if it is, then that's a totally different conversation. But if he is that guy and he is doing everything you're supposed to get him to do and you want him to do, and he's making the adjustments, yet the team is still, or the wide receivers are, I should say the quarterback is not getting the ball to him, then it is a situation where the scheme is not his fit.
I've seen him play. All right. We've seen Jalen Milroe play. All right. They're different positions altogether. Tight end position also in the NFL right now is hot as it ever has been. There's probably 17 Tony Gonzalez emerging in the league right now.
And he's the reason for it.
Exactly. And when you look at a guy like Jalen Milroe, I don't think it is just a thing that us North Alabama folk or us SEC fans see, where it's a guy that has his struggles, but he's super athletic, and we understand that. I think Kyle Pitts is a guy that is super athletic. They're just not using him the right way. I think this is a guy that could succeed at a franchise that knows how to use a tight end, and we haven't seen that from the Falcons. Oh, was it Tony Gonzalez? Yeah, since Tony Gonzalez.
We talking about as far as the Falcons? Well, yeah, Tony Gonzalez, because he left the Chiefs and he went to Atlanta.
That's what I'm saying.
And that was it. Like,
I don't remember a tight end after him that actually stepped up. But if people do, definitely feel free to correct me.
Well, no, I mean, you can also look at Gates, that was with the San Diego Chargers. That is one of the great. I mean, honestly,
tight ends, there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
But as far as the most recency of this, you do have George Kittle, you do have Travis Kelce,
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, which at times is a very good tight end. Sometimes he's apparently just like a right tackle.
Just really one game. It was just one game.
I know, but still, you also have guys like a Zach Ertz, who had his time with Philadelphia where he was a really good tight end, and he's still doing good things for Washington, but it's just not the productivity that we've seen in the past. Austin Hooper, who's been with Atlanta, he's been with the Titans, he's been with the Patriots.
Browns.
I mean, he's been with the Browns. Like he's been with a lot of teams, and he's been somewhat productive in those when he's able to stay healthy. TJ Hawkinson with the Vikings is another guy right now that you can look at, and you can see the productivity that is being utilized with the tight end position. The thing to me about with the Kyle Pitts is that even with the George Kittle, who is extremely athletic, a Travis Kelce that is extremely athletic, you can put them in the slot. You could even possibly put them outside the numbers, but it still looks like a tight end playing wide receiver.
Exactly. This is more like a
Kyle Pitts looks like a little bit of bigger DK Metcalf trying to playing on the field.
I think this is more like an Isaiah Likely type of tight end.
Maybe an Isaiah.
But
Likely.
I would say Kyle Pitts just a little bit bigger. I don't know. Maybe just because Likely's a little bit younger.
Well, and even look at what Buffalo is doing with their tight ends. Like all of these leagues, or all these teams are looking for a solid receiver. And it doesn't matter if you play the tight end position, because now with the way offensive work, you're going to be able to move them around. Yeah. So yes, he could, if it was, and I need to double check what his contract is, but I feel like he's coming close to the end of it, that he could be in a spot where he becomes a free agent. He does get to go to it. Yeah, no, he is. They picked up the club option for him this year. So he's actually, last year was his 4th season in the league. So they did pick up the club option, which means that they are now going to pay him $9 million more than what he made last season, which is a big margin. He had over 600 yards receiving last year. His productivity kind of went up with Michael Penix Jr.
It
So
was
you do
all
want
over
to
the
see
place,
it. You
though,
do.
at the beginning.
But he's supposed to be a free agent next year.
Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how he grows. But, Joe, we do need to hop into a break. Get back on track because it was a little bit of that rambling that we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Tom likes to do a little bit of that. But regardless of that, we'll take it to break. When we get back, we're going down a few notches. We're going to the high school level, and we're talking with Coach Ronnie Watson about his Sparkman Senators and the off season that he is currently having with that squad. It's going to be fun to conversate with him, so keep it with us here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know. Talent Heating and Air. #1 heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. Mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still respond.
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I tossed it back, and as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out from Tommy Murr. Swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Blake Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Still got a few minutes left in the show, about 30 minutes to be exact. And then Tom Abraham's show is going to be coming up at noon today after Chuck Oliver. You will have the drive as well as Steve and Scott are heading down to Livingston, Alabama, the gorgeous city past Tuscaloosa. It's not really. It's really not that. But while they're getting ready for that, we got basketball happening. I have hockey tonight. We have baseball tomorrow. Let's talk a little football as well.
Yeah. And I came up with this. I didn't fully come up with this, but I thought about this idea because I feel like, I don't know about you, Joe, but I'm kind of to the point where I'm just like, I want some football back. And it feels like it's been a certain, like, probably several months, and it might actually have been that long since high school football came to an end. And I just want to be taken back to the band, to walking up to the stadium whenever, it's just a crisp, fall night, and you get that song playing in your ear, the boys.
You're being
fall.
very romantic about this right now.
Well, that's how it is. When you play football, and you played football in high school like I did, I mean, that was peak, I would say. And I'm just I'm feeling a little bit lost right now without it. So what I want to do is I want to get some of the coaches on, because getting coaches on in the off season mainly consists of our media days that we have, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful event. Look forward to that. But I want to talk with some of the coaches and some of what they have to go through in the early part of the off season. As of course, we see a lot of these players make their commitments to the future, as well as, move on and go on. And then also see some of the players that are coming up for these teams. And the first coach we had to get on, of course we had to get him on, is Coach Ronnie Watson from the Sparkman Senators. Coach, how are you doing today, sir?
Great, man. Great. Great to be on. He says, romantic about football. Everybody keeps telling me that about hockey, that I need to go
Coach,
check out the hockey. So I've got to get out there and do that.
They're not wrong. I'm going to let you know they're not wrong.
Yeah, Joe's hyped up on it.
I hear around here, and I've lived here all my life, but everybody keeps telling me the excitement and everything down there at the TBC, and I got to get out there and check that out.
Coach, you're telling me right now you have yet to go to a Havoc game? Is that what I'm hearing?
I haven't went to a game since the Channel Cat.
Coach, all you had to do is say it. We can literally get you. I mean, Coach, it's not that you're just like, look, this is not your Channel Cats hockey now. Okay, see, we've already went down the direction.
I hear excellent things. I mean, just excellent.
Coach,
constantly about it. So I've got to get out there and check it out.
And I have said this every single game. Matter of fact, it's literally, we now have totally changed pregame just because I've said this so much. But I'm telling you, just watch the intro, the player intros, and the video packages that the Havoc put together for the player intro. The moment that you see it, you will be hooked. I'm telling you, goosebumps. It may be one of those, hey, we need to play this before our games. Like, it's one of those, Coach. I'm telling you, I got goosebumps every time.
I'm going to have to find that after workouts this afternoon.
Okay. Go for it.
Joe, you can even send that to him. I think you've got the whole thing on your phone.
I keep trying to ask the team to send it to us.
Pump me up in the morning.
Oh, it will. Trust me. It absolutely will. But, you talked about workouts. So for you guys, and I know it's weird because a lot of schools have players that were on, the basketball team, they have players on the baseball team and stuff. I know that football wise, you guys didn't have any players on the basketball team, but what is it with your off-season workouts? Are there guys for you that are splitting time between football and baseball, or how's this all working as you're trying to get everything ready?
We've got a few. We had two in basketball. They just didn't play. They didn't play at the varsity level.
Right.
Some kid. I mean, it's just like baseball. I mean, you're still going to have kids at the school level, at the travel ball level, and that's in basketball too. There's so many different levels. I mean, almost every sport I think nowadays you can play year round. So, whether you're just working on your skills or for that matter, this time of year, honestly, most people think in the season's a grind, the season. Yeah, I think of it backwards. Even when I was a wrestling coach, the off season is the time that you work the hardest.
Oh, no doubt.
By far. I mean, you put in so many hours. I have a selfless, set of coaches, and you put in hours. Whether it's film or and things like that. Strength and conditioning coaches doing their things, making sure you're getting that every lift, every rep, every sprint. And I think the most exciting thing for me, going into year 3 that I found as a head coach is that you got a different team every year almost, honestly. So you lose, we'll have we lose about 30, anywhere from 28 to 35 seniors a year.
Wow.
So then those people, a lot of those guys, they're your starters and things like that, your leaders, and being able to step back and watch guys and then being able to put them in opportunities for them to lead. And, they're the guys when you're max, and, we'll have in max week next week because it's the week before spring break. And, just to see guys step up and completely change and come out of their shell, never said anything. And all of a sudden they're coming out of their shell and they're becoming, wanting to become one of the guys. And, that's the very cool thing for me.
No doubt.
And that starts, honestly, most coaches will tell you around here, that starts, the day after the last game. You get in off-season mode. So
it doesn't take a lot of time.
It's a grind, but the off-season to me is exciting. It's fun just because, again, you get to see all these different people change, and your starters at positions you're strong at. Well, usually those are the ones you have to develop in. So.
Coach Ronnie Watson from the Sparkman Senators talking all things his team during the offseason. And, Coach, you talking about, the offseason and how much of a grind it is. It doesn't have to take me back too far to where I was playing. I think it was eight years ago, I think was my last season in high school, which is kind of wild to think about now. But I remember it was up in Winchester. It was cold. We had to run the stairs. It was 2-a-days. It was all of that. And looking back on it, I remember those the most just because it was such a long and fun journey to kind of get stronger, to kind of build the bond with the players around us. And you talk about some of these guys that you had throughout the years, and now those leaders are moving on. Talk about some of those leaders that have, found themselves at some of these colleges or universities that you are just thankful that you had the time to actually get to work with, and now you get to, move on to the next.
Oh man, we were blessed to have so many this year. Signing day, we signed 7, and I remember looking at our Coach Jones, our recruiting coordinator, at the end, and I said, "All right, take a breath. It's now dead time. I want you to take a breath. It's that another. No, Coach, we got more. We're about to have another one. We're going to have 3 to 5 more signed. We're going to have another signing day, so that'll get us up to 10 or 11 guys overall in this class. But we had, of course, Jaden Chambers from the defensive line. He's been a huge part the last couple of years. Sharif Smith, in that anchor position for us this year, changed positions. John Rozier is going to go off and do, things in other places. Rylan Edwards, y'all had him on the show. I had all these guys on the show.
Yeah, we did.
Parker Kemp's going off and, being able to go and do better things and, just bigger things. And, the great thing is you see these guys, they come in because, we don't have the seniors. They go into regular classes. But after school, they come in and they're one, Josh Murphy, I don't think since, December 1st, I don't think the kid's not coming there and got to work out after school. He's going to be going to Murray State. Just so many guys, but, hoping to see Jordan Garner finally make a decision here in the next couple of weeks. David Falk, our kicker. And that he only played, that's like 9 games ever playing football, and that young man's going to go and play.
Oh, he was a talented one too.
it's just so, I always tell people, my cup runneth over all the time when you just look at these guys, and then you see guys that again are stepping up. We had a young man last week found out that he got put on the leadership council for the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and that was Emmanuel Armstrong. Number 35, played safety for us this year. I mean, kid has so many things off season and extracurricular activities and stuff like that. I mean, everything the guy does, it just turns to gold.
Wow, that's
so
great to hear.
It's great to see whether they're leaving or whether they're coming. I mean, these guys just keep excelling, and I couldn't be more proud of the whole program.
Well, it's definitely, it's exciting me, of course, looking forward to the future, getting to see some of the new faces on this team, as well as seeing some of the faces that I saw 2 years ago whenever they were sophomores, now as seniors, just growing throughout it. Before we get to, some of the wilder news, some of the more 2025 type stories, I want to know, do you guys have any quirky, off-season things that you guys get into? Of course, one of those things for us, I don't know if it was too quirky, but it was like strapping on some big old bungee cord and then putting it on another dude and then just trying to run away from him and see who could pull each other which way. I mean, do you have anything like that you guys are doing just for fun as well as competition?
Ours is everything. I mean, when we go into the off season, it's kind of like the season. I mean, you've been around. Everything we do is competition. Everything.
Yep.
We compete on who cleans the bathrooms at the end of practice, who rides what bus, who gets to eat. Same thing during the off season. I mean, we'll do things, and I'm not going to say we got bungee cords and we're doing this, we're doing that, but we call them Senator Days and stuff like that. And there may be some tug of war. There may be some, they'll go back and forth. It may be weight and taking a bench and putting four guys together and saying, okay, we need 350 reps.
Yeah.
Who can get it done first?
Yeah.
Things like that. We have something we call the heel that comes from my wrestling background at the ninth grade school across the street, and it's one of those hills that goes straight up, man. And that hill has won many a game.
Yeah.
Because of the work you put out in it. And the great thing is now, from 2 years ago, is those guys will come up and say, Coach, can we go do the hills? And you may put a guy on top of you and you're running up that hill. You may take 45-pound plates and you're pressing them the whole time you're going up that hill. But there's, nothing really, I mean, honestly, out of the ordinary. It's just competing at a high level and holding ourselves to a high expectation every day.
Well, and
the players got to do that, because if it's coach-led, you might be okay, but if it's player-led, that's how you get championships.
Well, and
that culture.
And with you, like, obviously this is a time of period for you to grow as well. And for things like that, for in the off season, like, do you get to go to any seminars? Do you get to go to any conferences or anything like that where you're learning new stuff from that?
Oh yeah. You go to clinic, you go to coaches clinic, ever since back in 2020 and everybody stayed at home, a lot of things are done on Zoom now. You can do that. You can actually get in a whole lot more that way. But I like going to the clinics or going, we're going to go to a few spring practices from different colleges in the state and around, hit a couple of spring just to see how they do it. But the more coaches you can talk to, the better, and you form those relationships. And then you get, the thing about football's been the same since, 1800s, man. Everybody's just doing it and lining up a different way. The plays and stuff, really, philosophies change and stuff like that. And just hearing a fresh take on, a 3-4 defense or, how you run the wing T offense, things like that, is you got to consistently learn, because nowadays, if you're not learning, you're losing. So you have to keep, you got to keep working on your craft, just like the kids have to go to camps and, go out and market themselves and things like that. So, you're continuously growing, but I think that's going to be in any profession. Yeah. You're going to have to grow.
No doubt about that. Coach Ronnie Watson, before we get you out of here, which, by the way, give those kids 8 years out of football, and they won't want to do hills ever again. I know that.
No, but I'll tell you, with the moment, Coach, that you mentioned hills, I went right back to when I was playing baseball at UAH, and I remember the hill that I had to run up. And I know exactly where it is. I may pass that thing once or twice a month, even today. And I look over there and go, nope, don't ever want to do that again.
Too many hills.
Those are attention getters right there.
Yeah. There's a road right beside the Huntsville Country Club that we used to have to go and run.
I know what hill you're talking about.
See, you know it. He knows it because and coach can verify this. The road is so steep that they had to put like special concrete over it so that the cars could get grip as they're going up it.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's like going in the mountains in Gatlinburg, man.
Yes. I hate that thing.
Interesting.
Started getting PTSD thinking about it.
Well, Coach, before we get you out of here, there is an interesting situation that I feel like a lot more coaches are having to deal with nowadays than ever. And, of course, it's about Jamarion Matthews, a talented, one of the best football players I've ever had the opportunity to see. It's similar to a Caleb Holt situation, getting to see that, it's a generational talent. Talk a little bit about his future as well, because I've seen plenty of his signings or his commitment, opportunities. So just talk a little bit about him as he, of course, continues on his career.
Yeah, Jamarion, great guy. I mean, again, I'll be his biggest cheerleader his entire career, no matter where he goes. But things have changed in the football world. It's changed in the college world. It's trickling down to the high school world. I mean, just spending 15, 20 minutes on Twitter or not will tell you that. It's just how much things have changed. And, when you look at, that situation, I mean, there's different states that run on different rules. And, just like you said, the Caleb Holt ordeal. And, it's not something that just came up all of a sudden. It's something that was talked through and, things like that for a few weeks. But yeah, we did a commitment that he had, over 20 plus D1 offers, almost every SEC school. Last Friday, we'd had this plan for a while, for him to be able to, do something with his friends and his family and stuff. And, he's decided he's going to, transfer over to Gainesville, Georgia, with Coach Niblett that used to be down in Hoover. Moved his way over to Georgia. But as long as there's a new, I'm going to go with what rules the state gives me, and we're not going, we're going to do what we got to do to be successful within the rules that we are. But, you can't fault a young man. You can't fault a family or anything trying to better themselves, honestly. Again, just like in the Caleb Holt situation. And, I hope things all work out for him. And, like I told our guys, it's unfortunate, but it also gives someone an opportunity to step up and do it. And that's going to be hard for, when you lose, like you just said, a generational talent. I mean, great. And just a great overall kid. But again, it's going to open up a void for someone to step up and give them an opportunity. And a lot of people in life don't get those opportunities like that when you're behind a player like that. So hopefully somebody goes, steps up, takes advantage of the opportunity in front of them. But yeah, it seems like it's happened, things like that's happening more and more. And that's all over the state. I mean, you look at people transferring here and here, and, it happens in the north, it happens in the south, it happens in the middle part of the state. So it's just when it's, it ends up being somebody of that caliber and that great of a person, it just gets magnified a bit more.
Well, and Coach, I was really curious about it because you said, you have to play by the rules that are giving in the state. I know that there's coaches conferences in the state of Alabama and everything. Does this get brought up about some of these things like this when you're just going, look?
I think constantly,
Yeah.
I mean, being honest, it constantly does. I mean, if you look at the college game, I read something this morning, where even Kalen DeBoer at Alabama is talking about completely restructuring the spring practice, and you're going to see something different because people don't want people to, have free. They don't want you to see their guys or use, hey, you're not playing as much here, but you made a couple of plays in the spring game. So, because, the transfer portal opens up right at the end of that spring thing in college. Well, high school's becoming, and I mean, it's all over. It's not just in Alabama. I mean, I'm sure there's coaches that talk about all the time. I mean, you're recruiting your kids to stay at your school during the season.
Yep.
And I mean, the more talent you got, or, I mean, it could be those teams that have that 1, 2, 3 people, that people try to pull. And again, it's, you just gotta, all I can say for me and my program, we're going to do it exactly how it's slated to do it, and and go and play Spartan Senator football. So, but I mean, it's happening everywhere. I mean, I've had 2 coaches I talked to this week alone that, hey, I'm thinking about not even having a spring game, because what happens if a kid don't play enough and then they're behind somebody that's really good or whatever, and they decide, well, in the summer they're going to transfer here because there's an opening. Wow. Well, again, it just puts you in a weird situation in a consistent basis. Nice. So, those days of having guys that go through the feeder school program, the middle school programs, come all the way up, and they're just proud to be that thing. Those guys are few and far between. We have a lot in this state that do that, and they've stayed at the same spots, and they've given up NIL money from other states and things like that. Honestly, that makes you proud to be a part of, the state of Alabama's high school football when you see that. But that's just not always the case. So, but I believe, majority of coaches think it's going to happen more and more.
Well, Coach, it was a great conversation with you. I was giddy. I was so giddy at the beginning of this conversation. I had to calm down a little bit just because I was thinking about, the falls that we've gone through with you guys over at Sparkman. So very much looking forward to it. We'll keep updating with the team. Of course, I'm going to have to come by and grab that banner at one point. Steve doesn't know that it's still over there. It's just up on the press box.
I mean, there's no reason to. We're only like a few months away from the season starting again anyway.
Who's using it?
I mean, it's not, trust me, it's not like it's not going to be right back there in a few months.
Exactly. Coach, always great talking with you, man. Looking forward to everything you guys got going on over there.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Thanks for everything.
Senators.
Go Senators.
Go Senators,
yes, sir.
man.
Good stuff, Coach Ronnie Watson. Yeah. I mean, he threw it at us the way that, you gotta. I mean, you gotta play within your parameters. On top of that, you can't fault any of these guys because a lot of these guys are doing this for their families. They're doing it for the future, and they did not have this opportunity. Their dads didn't have this opportunity, playing the sport. So, I mean, go for it if you can, but at the same time, it's a scary situation. Like he was saying at the end, if a player's not getting enough time, there is that opportunity to just transfer to the next school.
And I will say I have spent a lot of time around Coach Niblett. I have talked to him numerous times. He is probably one of my favorite coaches that I've ever gotten to hang out with. He had me down on the sidelines with Hoover when he was over there. And I mean, I love the man. I think he's an amazing person and a fantastic coach. And it is one in which the reason why it has taken Hoover so long to get back to playing the way that they have is because Josh Niblett left. And so he is in Gainesville now. So I hate the fact that Juice is going to be Juice is loose. He's no longer going to be a Sparkman Senator, but
Juice is loose.
But he is going to a fantastic coach that is going to continue to help him grow as, just the other day he committed to Alabama, but we got
at the end of the day, he's going to Alabama.
He's still coming back to the state, coming up in about 365, probably even sooner. So Josh is on hold. We're going to get to him as we wrap up everything that we have been hanging out with and doing as we continue on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain on your home for Alabama basketball. Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Phil Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10+ years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Tom Abraham here for the Spring Home and Garden Show presented by the Huntsville Madison County Builders Association, March 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Von Braun Center South Hall. And not only will you find celebrity guests, a family fun zone for the kids, and some great ideas and products for the home, you'll also find the Tom Abraham Show on location Friday at the Owen Home Appliance Center booth from noon to 2 on Friday, March 7th to help kick off the weekend. We'll see you at the Spring Home and Garden Show at the VBC. The Spring Home and Garden Show, March 7th through 9th.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment of the Blitz. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, talking sports. Great conversation with Coach Ronnie Watson in the last segment.
Very candid conversation.
I mean,
he was very honest, and he's one, like a lot of Alabama head coaches that are having to deal with. You have a player, the rules are different in other states than what they are in Alabama, and I mean, you can't blame Juice for doing what and going to it. And it's not like Juice is going to any program. He's going to Gainesville. He is going to a head coach in Josh Niblett, which I do have a close relationship whenever I was in Birmingham with. And he knows how to get players ready for Tuscaloosa.
And not just for Tuscaloosa, for that Nick Saban mentality,
and
like we were saying.
And this is nothing against Sparkman, but it's just one of those, like, Josh Niblett has sent a lot of players to Tuscaloosa. Yeah. And so Hoover was basically a feeder school for Tuscaloosa for a very long time with Josh.
No doubt, no doubt. Joe, I have some good news for you. We do need to hop into the phone lines before we get out of here. But Circuit of Americas, Joe. Remember, you were talking and you were complaining. You were complaining so much. 2 minutes. 9 seconds. That's how long the track was.
Oh, crap.
Scratch that, Joe. Scratch that because they got rid of the straightaway. They got rid of a whole area of the track.
So now it's like a minute?
No, it's like a minute 36.
Okay.
It scratches a whole 20 to 30 seconds off this damn track, and I'm pissed off because I was getting so hyped up for this damn conversation.
You'll have a minute and a half tomorrow, which is kind of what Josh has right now. So let's get to the phone lines real quick. Josh, welcome in to the Blitz, man. How's it going?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro.
Hey, I just wanted to say, first of all, I appreciate y'all bringing back the memories of me puking my guts up when I played at Butler High School baseball and Coach Al Rawls making me run that hill. Oh, I still have nightmares about that.
Hey, look, and here's the thing. I love Coach Rawls, and he's back in New Hope right now coaching softball. And I will tell you right now, majority of my elementary and middle school life was planning on playing for that man, and then he moved to Butler before I got to high school, and it was one of the saddest days of my life because he and my mom would talk all the time about me and what I was going to be doing and everything else, and then he moved to Butler, and I wanted to play for Coach Rawls so bad.
Man, I loved him to death, still love him to death, but God, he used to ride me. Oh my God.
That's the reason, and that's the reason I love him. I do.
Oh, exactly. And I also just wanted to say what you said about the intro with the Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Yes, sir.
It's absolutely amazing. And I wanted to give a shout out to the Facebook Huntsville Havoc fan club.
Yes, sir.
Because last year was my first year getting to go back to a game, and I took my twins with me. And they all welcomed me with open arms, super nice people, such a great community.
Yep.
And this super sweet, nice lady, I feel so bad because I don't remember her name.
It's all right,
but
Josh. And sorry.
She came to my seat.
Call us tomorrow and finish
me
this.
And
Call
my
us
twins and brought us jerseys.
Oh, really? We've actually paused the exit now because we wanted you to finish that. Say that whole thing again.
No. He said it. He said all he needed to. I listened to every single word he said. Josh, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
Good
bro.
stuff from you.
Hey, guys, love y'all, man. Y'all have a good one, fellas.
You too, sir.
All right, Joe.
All right, peace out.
No,
yeah. Chuck Oliver's coming up next. Tom Abraham after that. The drive is going to be happening at 5. Havoc hockey on the Havoc Zone. Puck drop 7:15, and before that, Chargers take on West Alabama on the Charger Zone. We will see you tomorrow starting at 9 a.m.
Anytime you need.
The coolest little gems are found a little off the beaten path, and that's exactly where you will find Hickory Store Barbecue. They are on Blake Bottom Road, just east of Jeff Road, and it's definitely worth the trip. The smokers are going on site daily, and they have the best smoked wings around. You'll love the fireplace and the covered patio, and best of all, Hickory Store Barbecue is